Alright, so right here I have a component, a resistor that I soldered in, and you can see the one above it is right here and here. And if we're supposed to do this like the schematic or the board tells us to, all the resistors are supposed to go in these two holes going down. So I would have accidentally put this one in the wrong two holes. This over here should actually be over in this hole. So when you make a mistake or put something in wrong, you're going to have to fix it. So I'm going to show you guys how to use a solder sucker as a way to fix a mistake. So once again, we have our solder sucker. Right here's the tip of it, and if you remember, it has this little button right here that you push, and when you push that in, it lets this spring come out and it pulls the air all the way up through right here, so it's sucking up in through there. So when I put this down against this right here, it allows me to, when I heat up that joint and I stick this right next to it and push that button, it's going to pull that solder away. So let me demonstrate that real quick. I have my soldering iron that I'm going to wet real quick, make sure it's clean. And now I'm going to take my solder sucker and I'm going to pull down this, and it's going to lock into place. So when you pull down this little trigger where it has a mark for your finger to put on, it will lock right down next to the button. Once it's locked into place, you can pick it up and hold it kind of like a pencil with your finger on the button, stick it right next to that spot, and then you're going to heat it up from the other side. Once it's heated up, you'll be able to tell it will look more like water, and then you're going to push in that button and try to suck up as much as you can. And once you do that, if we look at that right now, you should be able to see that the one on the right, the one we just did, there's a little bit of a hole, which is the original hole that we put it in through, where this one's still completely soldered and covered up. So what we did was we pulled up just enough of that solder so that now we can actually pull that component out. If I were to actually do this, I'd probably suck out each one of these because it would be hard to pull this one out with this one still soldered in. But that is how you use a solder sucker. You put it right next to it. Be careful not to put the soldering iron tip against this because this is plastic and it will melt and smell / ruin our solder sucker, and we don't want to do that because that will tick off Mr. Kraus. So that is how you use it though. You stick this right next to it, stick the soldering iron on the other side, wait till you see the metal become liquid, and then push in that button and boom, it sucks it right off. Alright, so that's how you use the solder sucker.